What's up, guys? This is the Primordial, and the day has finally come. 3.12 has finally been announced, and I don't think it was really what anyone was expecting. We're all like, oh, it's going to be boats, oceans, pirates, that kind of stuff. Instead, we got Path of Exile Heist. So I'll play the trailer, and we'll break it down.
Thank you, everyone, for being on time. We have a lot to cover.
There's the giant.
The mark is in the rear of the dining hall.
And the cat.
Cast, you're up first. You'll need to crack the lock and get us inside. Once we're in, Talina will use the vents to bypass patrols. There's a steel barrier that blocks access
So many
to the
NPCs.
hall. Tibbs, can you handle it? Great. Then Isla just needs to bridge the gap. There's enough in that bunker for all of us to live very comfortably. If we stick to the plan,
Lasers.
we should have no
That was in the
trouble at
teasers.
all. If we stick to the plan.
There's some sort of alert level.
Hi, I'm Chris Wilson from Grinding
He said the
Games.
line.
In this new league, you will plan and execute elaborate heists. Travel to the Rogue Harbor and hire a crew of thieves to perform tasks such as lockpicking, demolition, and transportation. Break into a secure facility and be careful not to trigger the alarm. Bypass security measures and infiltrate the vault containing a valuable artifact. Make a mad dash back to the extraction point to lock in your haul. Use your cut of the
It's a different
profits
UI.
to obtain a blueprint, uncover escape routes, and train your crew as you plan the ultimate job, executing a grand heist. Choose your payoff from exclusive new items such as alternate quality gems, trinkets,
It's a
volume
6-link.
weapon enchantments, replica unique items, experimented base types, and more. Plan your escape on September 18th.
A lot happened. I'm not really... This is very different from what I've done in the past.
The mark is in the rear of the dining hall. Side.
It's like they mentioned there was 13 NPCs. And then they mentioned like 3 different things I can do. It was like lockpicking, demolition, and transport. Like why is there like 13?
Can you handle it? For all of us to live very comfortably. For all
I'm
of
thinking
us
we're
to-
going to be avoiding guards because I had that alert meter. So maybe in some situations you probably don't want to be attacking all the guards. And maybe being stealthy is more advantageous. Maybe you get more loot that way. What's that?
Wilson from execute elaborate.
I feel like most of the good stuff was in here. Like we could
Travel
freeze
to the
frame
Rogue
a lot
Harbor
here
and hire a crew
and
of
work some
thieves
stuff
to
out.
perform tasks such as lockpicking, demolition, and transportation. Break into a secure facility and be careful not to trigger the alarm.
Maybe they're like... So there's 13 of them and one of them specializes in one and a little bit in one of the others, and just like that combination works out to 13. Maybe there's more to it. Maybe there's more skills and that's just all they mention. So yeah, they're definitely
Bypass
avoiding
security
guards.
measures and infiltrate the vault containing a valuable artifact. Make a mad dash back to the extraction point to lock in your haul.
And you have to get out.
Use your cut of the profits to obtain a
I'm guessing
uncover.
We'll just freeze it there after you get the artifact. You can probably just kill as much as you want. So this is an interesting screen. There's a lot going on here. So I wonder what dictates the kind of rooms here. And I suppose here are the different types. Like maybe these are the different skills that you need to travel between them. I don't know who this is. Or what any of this means really. So that says escape something. I'm not sure.
For escape routes and train your crew as you plan the ultimate.
This just reminds me of Darkest Dungeon. Kind of, just like you have like a crew of people and they show you putting items on them in a second.
Job. Executing a grand heist. And the uncover escape routes and train your crew as you plan the ultimate.
So there's like some skills up here and you have to allocate people to them. I'm guessing there's like a minimum level. It says level 1 here. Maybe you can rank them up. I'm not sure.
Ultimate job. Executing a grand.
So here's an item, just a lockpick, chance to avoid being interrupted. These do look like bars, so I'm guessing this is lockpicking. It's just like an image of a lock, so it's probably like a lockpicking XP. It doesn't say like a level or anything though, so I'm not sure.
And heist. Choose your payoff from exclusive new items such as alternate quality gems, trinkets.
What do the locks mean? And there's a 6-link here. It's just a 6-link unique that's already in the game. It's quite common. They're doing this a lot more often now. Just like dropping in random 6-links so people can buy them.
Replica unique items.
Because like who's 6-linking like a Joffrey's baptism? But if you need one for a build, then there's probably one out there somewhere from just a random drop from a league. It's Replica Iron Commando. It's all the same except it's strength stacking instead of dex. I wonder how many of these there are.
Experimented base types and
This is a fire damage implicit bow. Kind of strange. It's not awful either. Crit multi attack speed.
more. Plan your escape on September 18th.
Do you think they're using a loot filter and there's something special about these items? It's like I feel like under almost every circumstance they would just be filtered out by just about everyone's filter. Okay, well that's the trailer for Heist. I'm so glad it's coming out on the 18th. I put in annual leave for work on starting on the 16th, so I was hoping it wasn't delayed. Right, let's go through the rest of the post. So in Path of Exile Heist, you'll hire skilled thieves to help you pull off risky heists. Still valuable artifacts to fund and train your crew, so they do level up, I'm assuming. I'm guessing that's what that means. As you plan towards the execution of a grand heist. So there's some like later goal that you're working towards. Our September expansion contains the Heist Challenge League, 9 new skill gems and support gems. Revamps of curses, I didn't know that. Steel skills, that's new, and some spells. Grand Heists offer exclusive new rewards such as weapon and body armor enchantments. We didn't see any of that. Heist trinkets, I'm guessing that's the gear that you equip on the NPCs. And then alternate quality gems. So it'll be like the 900 gems. So there's probably like an alternate quality for every gem in the game. And replica unique items. Interesting. This area is insane. just looks like one of the NPCs. This gives me like huge like Thieves Guild vibes from like Skyrim. It feels like that, but just like heaps more fleshed out. It looks like there's a progress bar for the lockpicking. Guy's just barging through a door. In order to execute a heist, you need to know the location of a valuable artifact and what defenses safeguard it. Contracts containing these clues can be found throughout Rayclast alongside coins with mysterious emblem of the Rogue Harbour. Travel there and turn these objects in to hire the expertise you need for your heist. Jesus Christ, got a stack size of 1,000. It's a currency used for services in the Rogue Harbour. I wonder if that means, because it says up here you use it to hire. I wonder if there's other things you can do with it, like maybe like purchasing like items or maybe crafts. And it looks like you can use one of them as like a portal to the Rogue Harbour from a town or hideout. I wonder why they didn't just make a waypoint thing like they have done for the other leagues. So these are contracts. They look like maps. There's like area level 23, so it's like a map but lower level. So it's got a requirement for the skills and then the artifact that you're finding. And you can obviously craft them. So this one's like, well, it's level 83, but like for example, this one's been alked. Interesting. Brute force level 4. I have no idea what the heist target means. So in this one, you probably kind of want to avoid opening chests because it increases your alert level more. And a Farood, is this an artifact? It must just be one of the artifacts. Sense of Keth. It's probably just one of the things you're stealing. Execute the heist. If you can't escape the heist, you'll lose everything you stole while infiltrating into the facility. You'll need to support your rogue while they bypass security in order to reach the vault. Be careful with how much commotion you cause, or you may trigger the alarm, causing the facility to become locked down. When this happens, it's time to run. So it still looks like it puts you in rooms and then these chests appear locked probably until all the guards are defeated. I guess they're working on this door. Now, equip your crew. Specialized items can be equipped to rogues to make them stealthier, deadlier, and more adept at their roles. Like any other Path of Exile items, rogue equipment can be crafted with currency items. A well-equipped crew is a great asset when undertaking the most difficult heists. Job experience gain, so there is definitely experience gain. Blowtorch. Engineering. Interesting, maybe there's like, so engineering is like one of the categories and there's several different obstacles that require different engineering equipment to break through. Melee damage, players and their minions regenerate life per second. So this is equipped on your allies, right? Which would mean you're not getting the melee damage, they are. Which is interesting. But like if I'm right. Yeah, it says it makes them stealthier, deadlier, and more adept at their role, so I don't think that any of that will apply to you. The ring's cut is reduced. I'm guessing you suppose you have to pay them a percentage of what you make. And that just reduces it. Time before lockdown, reduced hiring fee. So like it seems like economically you can make this cheaper. Plan a grand heist. So the ultimate goal of a thief is to pull off a grand heist. This requires access to blueprints that show where vaults are located inside sprawling facilities. These elaborate jobs require masterful planning, purchasing additional intel about the facility, hiring multiple rogues to assist with their many obstacles. Planning can result in a huge payoff as each vault has its own exclusive rewards. This is the planning room we saw in the trailer. It's just empty. The cat's there though. Looks just like one of my other cats. Here's another. I want to get it on this. So there's two rooms that say extraction point, and the other ones say like curio display rooms. Maybe these are where you find the artifacts, or maybe they're just chests. There's also escape routes, and I'm not sure about these other rooms or the big eye. There's 5. These look like items. These don't look like the artifacts from earlier. It's like obviously there's a bow, a mace, a quiver. I'm not sure what that is. It looks like a ballista, like a crossbow kind of thing. And maybe like a scepter. So thieves' trinkets. One of the exclusive rewards you'll be able to steal from Grand Heist are trinkets, which go in their own new equipment slot. So do we get an equipment slot? Or is that for the thieves? These magical items influence what rewards you'll find from future heists you run. Some of their modifiers affect the items dropped by enemies and chests, while others modify the rewards you could obtain from a heist special reward chest. It's a quite special test. Maybe there's like a chest at the end. It's got some interesting stuff in it. So chance to drop corrupted, just item rarity, double divination cards. That's quite a high percent. 40% is a lot. 5% chance for regal orbs to drop as exalted orbs. That seems quite good, especially since there's no like durability on these. I feel like that would add up to quite a few exalts over time. If you can get one of these, that mod just might be really rare. And that would make a lot of sense too. 40% increased rogue's markers dropped by monsters. Were they these items? Yeah, rogue's markers. So you get more of the heist currency from those. I'm going a bit too far. Double maps is good. 40% is pretty good. Also double scarabs. This feels like an insane trinket. Like who knows if they're all going to actually be this good. So alternate quality gems. So alternate quality gems come from the Grand Heist reward rooms and provide even more depth for existing skill and support gems. So this is probably where they're getting those 900 new gems. Was it 900 gems or 900 new gems? 900 new gems would imply that there's probably two alternate qualities for every gem in the game. Some simply increase the power of the gem, while others entirely change which builds most benefit from the gem. So we have Archmage support. I've never played with this, so I'm not quite sure what the quality bonus is. Is it the added cold? I know it's a lightning. I didn't know it had cold on it, so it must be supported skills gain added cold damage equal to 39% of mana cost. Wouldn't that be nuts for Archmage? That seems really powerful. We have Cleave. It's 5% quality this time. It must be the added cold because it must apply 3 times. Triple 13 is 39. Nuts. Yeah, Cleave. It's 5 quality. It just says life gain on hit. It's actually not a bad stat. Especially when I'm guessing that goes up to 20 at least. 23 if it's corrupted. So 23 life gain on hit isn't Like, that's not nothing. Like, single target, that's probably not great, but if you're hitting lots, like huge packs, that's quite a bit of life every hit, if you're attacking quite fast. Not really something that you would build around, like, it's just... It's nice. What was the last one? Herald of Agony. Also haven't played with this, so I'm not quite sure on the quality bonus for this. So 7% quality, it's 7% chance to inflict with it on hit for 2 seconds. It's good. Wither's quite powerful. Replica uniques and experimented base types. Other rewards you can claim from Grand Heist. So just Grand Heist, not normal ones. So it looks like Grand Heists are probably later on mapping content. So I suppose you're not finding any of these in the meantime. Same with the alternate skill gems as well. Kind of punishing for spell builds. Like, because you have to level it again. Yeah, other rewards you can claim from Grand Heist are replica unique items and experimented base types. Replica unique items are a result from attempts to recreate unique items of Legend, where the end product has a few crucial differences. So Sorrow of the Divine, Eldritch Battery. So it looks like mostly the same item, they just changed the mod. And I like the little... I can't move to my mouse to it, but I like up the top of the unique item where it's got the little jewels implanted in it to show that it's a replica. Interesting. Lionized Paws. So these were changed recently in Legion to give you Rain of Arrows, and this one is Toxic Rain. And then maybe like the chaos damage to attacks must have been changed from something else as well. Or just like straight up added on. Abyssus. I love this item. This is very interesting. So try elemental damage to attacks. And they changed it to increase elemental damage taken. That seems really brutal. I feel like that would be really hard to mitigate against. Elemental damage is so dangerous, I don't know if that's worth it. Like, I wonder how much survivability you would have if, like, even for example 78% resistances with a Lore Weave. This is still a crazy amount of increased elemental damage to take. I feel like you would really need purities and other, like max raise on tree to fully take advantage of this, otherwise it would be too rippy. This is just the exact same fire damage implicit bow that we saw earlier. It's a huge fire damage implicit, like that's massive. Like it's more than the actual suffix, the affix on the weapon. I'm not sure if it's a prefix or a suffix. Like I would imagine a bow with implicit fire damage and like T1 fire damage and a good attack speed would be quite good for a fire elemental damage bow build that isn't using Zophs or something, or like Chinsol. Interesting. So we have the weapon and body armor enchantments. So these are the enchantments they're talking about earlier that didn't show off in the trailer. This is the final type of reward from the Grand Heist, is a selection of weapon and body armor enchantments. These enchantments come on unnaturally powerful rare items and affect the magnitude of modifiers on those items. Some of these enchantments are so powerful they involve substantial drawbacks. I don't see any drawbacks on that. So all sockets are linked, so it's implicit. So I'm guessing you can just jewel this and it'll always be linked. If you happen to land a 6 socket, you just get a 6 link. And then life modifiers have 6% increased effect is And it's good. It's a good bonus. So like when I say they could have drawbacks, I could see the all sockets being linked quite common, and then the drawback being like a reduced life effect. And it'd be like a good stepping stone to a proper 6-link. Like you get your easy 6-link, but it has slightly crappier life rolls. This mace requires 640 strength. So it's 200% increased attribute requirements, and physical modifiers have 15% increased effect. 600 strength's a lot. Like sure, if you're strength stacking, you can get heaps of that, but if you're not strength stacking, you know, if you're not going out of your way, that's a lot of strength for just a 15% increased effect. Maybe there's more tiers of that. Like there are definitely builds that can take advantage of it, but not every melee build will. Interesting. So curses, this is the cursory work. We've added a new curse skill and curse support gem. The new Doom mechanic. Love Doom. New Doom mechanic causes a self-cast curse to increase in intensity over time until it expires. This works well in conjunction with the impending Doom support, which causes an explosion of chaos damage when the linked curse ends. Curses have also received a new look. Many curses are now classified as hexes, and now use the Doom mechanic. So he's using temp chains here, so maybe instead of what temp chains would normally do, it builds up naturally now. Self-cast hexes now build up Doom the longer they're active, increasing their effect. So impending Doom support and Doom blast. The impending Doom triggers of Doom blast when supported hex on an enemy expires, causing an explosion of chaos damage based on the level of Doom that had accumulated. So like the longer you keep the curse on it, so you stack like curse duration to get more Doom levels. This is just begging for a build, and you just listen to the Doom soundtrack. Punishment. Is punishment one of the... No, punishment was the fizz one that nobody used. Rework the punishment skill so it now causes enemies to take increased damage while they're on low life and explode with overkill. That's really good for clearing. But they have to attack you, don't they, though? Yeah. Unless it was changed, I can't remember it. If they have to attack you to receive punishment, I'm not quite sure how good that's gonna be. But if like you can just put that at like AoE blasphemy, punishment, everything, and just blow up everything. That's like essentially Gladiator or like Explodey Gloves. Because like the amount of overkill you get on white mobs is in most builds insane. With sharpened steel skills, this just goes forever. We've revamped steel skills by introducing shards, deadly blades that fragments of a new character. Call of Steel skill is available whenever you have a steel skill equipped, so it gives you a separate skill. So burst shards from the ground, providing more ammunition for steel projectiles. It causes the existing shards to explode out of impaled enemies. So there's some impale synergy there. So added one new steel skill and reworked both shattering and lancing steel. Interesting. This whole like consuming charge kind of thing is nothing they've done before. The Call of Steel causes all impaled enemies in a large radius to release all of their spikes at once, dealing area damage as those shards burst out of them. It sounds like an insane finisher. You can probably just like hit a pack once, rock Call of Steel, and just have everything blow up. And it generates ammunition for the next pack. I'm assuming, they're probably like orbiting your character, not like in the ground. I'm guessing that the knives are like steel. I'm not sure. New spells. Blazing Salvo. This spell releases a volley of fiery mortars targeting enemies up close, causes the mortars to land with overlapping impacts. While firing from further away, causes the mortars to cover a large area. Rip Magma Orb. This sounds like it does everything Magma Orb does, and also has a large AoE if you want it to go long range. Yeah, interesting. So Magma Orb is probably like the precursor to this spell. Void Sphere. I think this was the thing in the trailer we saw earlier. Creates a Void Spear that pulses with physical and chaos damage. So it does damage. Pulling in all non-unique enemies. The sphere slows enemies and with increasing intensity the closer they are to it. It's literally a black hole. Sucks their corpses into the void. I wonder how that works. Like, is this corpse removal, or is this just in the sense that it cancels like on death effects? Maybe if they're killed in the center of the sphere, they don't have any on death effects. Flame wall. Create a wall of fire which deals burning damage to everything in its area. When you or your allies fire projectiles through the wall, they'll deal added fire damage and apply some of the wall's burning effect to enemies. It reminds me of some of the old Frostwall interactions with like shotgunning and stuff. You like fire through a frost wall and that was so long ago. Isn't this a Diablo 1 skill as well? Without the arrow projectile thingy. Much more. Introduces 25 unique items and 12 divination cards. A visual revamp to some skills and much more. We have more uniques here. Corpse Walker. Is Corpse Walker thing? I'm not sure. The Chains of Emancipation. Pretty decent life. Chaos Res is good. Enemy hits inflict temporal chains on you. When you lose temporal chains, you gain maximum rage. How much maximum rage? Am I misunderstanding how rage works? How much rage do you gain? Does it stack? So like if you have 5 stacks of temporal chains, do you get 5 stacks of rage? What? How do I pronounce that? Triskaidekaphobia. Tier 13 map, 13% quality, 100% delirium, 8 mods. Is this? I think this might be Sir Gog's unique. From memory, I think it was doing 100% delirium map. Interesting. Tier 13, 13 quality, 13 stack size. 13's like the unlucky number, right? Maybe that's what they're going for. The mists of madness prey on those who harbour the deepest of fears. Looks like a man that's afraid of a cat. The PoE is coming to Mac. It's cool, I guess more people can play it. And we have the supporter packs. Let's have a quick look at them. This is cool. Reminds me of like a dark elf thing from Warhammer. An eagle. It seems pretty standard. Well, that's a lot. Jesus Christ. This was a long read. It's going to be interesting. It's definitely not what we expected. I wonder how it's going to translate into solo Southbound, which is what I'm going to be playing next league. Yeah, interesting. They mentioned 25 new uniques. Does that mean... So 25 brand new uniques and then they're doing the fake ones as well? So I feel like if that included the... What were they called? I don't quite remember. Well, the alternate uniques, whatever they were. Plus the new uniques, I don't think that doesn't sound like a lot. Well, what was it? 16th? 18th. 18th, September 18th. Path of Exile Heist. It's coming. Well, that was a long 40 minutes. We made it through it. I think Bex did really well, like subverting our expectations based on the teasers that she's been putting on Twitter. No one would have guessed that this was what was happening. Everyone was so confident that we were going to get some sort of ocean and boats, and we're going to go to the Temple of Suatha or something. Nobody would have guessed this. But it still seems really exciting. Like, it's really different, so it should be really fresh. If you enjoyed this video, I'd really appreciate it if you wanted to subscribe. That'd be great. I will also be streaming on Twitch from the launch of this, probably for a couple of weeks, just going ham for ages. I'm actually going to be playing solo Southbound, and I'm going to be collecting every unique in the game. So it'll be interesting to see how this mixes it up. It should be quite interesting. That's it from me. I'm the Primordial, and I'll see you next time.